Hi, this is Jason from Effective Maintenance Dashboards, and welcome back to another video. In this video I want to build on some of the previous videos I've posted, and I want to look at conditional formatting again. Now, in the previous videos, and I'll put a link below here to those, we looked at building a couple of trends and integrating some trends into our dashboards. So the first one here was to add this mini trend here, which has got a trend line and it's got the start and end points highlighted. The other one was looking at, let's just go back here, it was looking at, go to the main screen, just move along here, at adding in a pop-up. So let's just quickly look at those. So I'll link both these videos below so you can see how we created those. So you can create one of these pop-ups here, and they're dynamic depending on where you are and which visualization you hover over. Okay, so the next one we're going to look at is building quite an informative trend chart. So the other charts have got just a trend with the average trend line, or the sort of trend line between the first and last points. This one here we want to take a little bit further. So let's add in first of all a new graph here. We're going to add in a line graph, and in this line graph we are going to add in the date as the x-axis, and keep it really simple. And we're going to look at the backlog count. And let's go and choose our backlog count as the values. Okay, so we can see here this is a graph, and it starts at the on the 1st of March and then continues on until the 30th of March. Okay, so we've only got 30 days worth of data in this. We could add in, well, we can just add in this relative data, show the items in the last 30 days, and apply this filter. Now, actually that's probably not very sensible, because the date today is the 22nd of February. Sorry, it's 22nd of March, so actually we'll just leave that. But that's what you would do if you wanted to show the data that was getting updated every day for your report. So let's just minimize that. So the next thing I want to do is I want to show what are the high points and low points. So you can see them here, and you can see the information, but it's not clear. Is that a high point and is that the high point? They're quite close to each other, they're actually the same, but we want to make that explicit. So how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to first of all make this line a little bit less black, a little bit subtler. So we're going to go in and I'm going to choose this colour here, and that's going to make it a little subtler. And then we are going to then add in some date ranges. Okay, so some conditional formatting. So we're going to start off with these here, and we're going to identify the maximum values. So let's start with a measure. So the first measure we're going to create is going to be, it's going to be a calculated measure. It's not a conditional format measure. So we're going to add that into this values here. And create a new measure. And that measure is going to be, so we're going to add in a new measure here, and let's go and, yep, we've got it up here. So we're going to call this one backlog count, and it's going to be max point in date range. Okay, so that's going to be maximum point in this date range. So we're going to start off with use the maxx function. So this function iterates over the table and that table is going to be a list of all the dates that are currently selected. So all selected and dates, and then we will find the max date for each one of these. We're going to look at backlog count. So it's a dead straightforward formula. It's going to iterate through each one of these and it's going to find the maximum value. Okay, so of all selected. Now we need to use this because we're looking at all selected. We need to make sure it's all selected because that means that when we apply date filters to this measure, then it will take that into account. So that's the first one we need to look at. So let's just make sure that works fine. And we're just going to go and add a card in here just to make sure that we're happy with that value. So we're expecting this value to be the maximum value, which is going to be this one here. So 714. So let's go back into let's find it here. And it was backlog count maximum point and date range. And there we go, 714. Okay, so we're going to go and we're going to create another one of these, and it's going to be for the minimum value. So let's go and create a new measure. And we'll go and paste this one in, but we're going to call it the min. So really pretty straightforward stuff here. Min X, and everything else will be the same there. The table's the same. The measure is the same that we're evaluating for each row in the table. We're just going to find the minimum backlog count for all the values in this date range. So it's going to go through each one of these, check what it is, and then return the minimum, which should be this 670. So let's just verify that. So we'll go back into the visualization, add a new measure, and we will add in the minimum. And here we can go. Here we have it. Okay, so that's the first thing we need to do. The next thing we need to do is go and add in the conditional formatting that is going to take these measures and use them to add some conditional formatting to this chart, this line graph. So let's go and create a new measure. I don't need this anymore. And this is going to be under the conditional formatting measures. New measure. And we will call this one, let's call this conditional formatting, min and max values in date range, something like that, equals. And we're going to use an if statement, and we're going to use the if the backlog count, so if the backlog count is equal to, and we're going to use the measure we just created, which is, I think that was, we'll type in min, we'll find it, here we go, backlog count, minimum point and date range. Then we are going to format this to be this colour here, which is hashtag 19339E, which is like a blue colour. Otherwise, if, and we're going to put in the next statement, backlog backlog count equals, and we'll put in the max. So backlog max point. So that was the measure that we just created. If that is the case, then we're going to conditionally format that with, let's get that value there, to be 8EFF. Okay, and we'll close that off, and close that off. Just tidy that up a little bit. So we've got a nice if statement here, and that should work hopefully. And I've covered this in a previous video, but let's cover that again because it's we need to do it anyway. So if you go in and look at applying conditional formatting to this chart, let's just highlight it, go to our formatting and go to data colors. There's no option here. So there's normally you would get 3 dots and ellipses, but there's not an option there. So what we need to do is we need to change it temporarily into a bar chart, and then those dots appear, and then we apply the conditional formatting. So just wait for it to apply there, and we're going to add in the field value, and we're going to call this min, and this should find it. Min and max values in date range. There we go. And hopefully you can see that that has been applied. So we'll leave it at the we'll leave it there for just now. So here we've got an example where we've got the 3 maximum values. So it's applied that conditional formatting to each of the values because they all meet the criteria set up in the if statement. And there is 1 which is a minimum value, and that's a dark blue. So we can see these colours here have been added in. So what we need to do now is just change it back to a line chart, and there we have it. We've got our maximum values there and our minimum value there, and that is really how simple it is. So now I'll just tidy this up. We've got our chart here, and we've got the minimum and maximum values highlighted. Okay, so that is the conditional formatting for min and max levels within a line graph or a bar chart. You could obviously use that for a bar chart as well. Thanks for listening, and I will talk to you in the next video.